My one regret is that I didn't meet your grandmother.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I spied her from my spot at the bar, and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to her. And I turned back to whoever I was talking to, and then she was gone. But she didn't come to the bar once. Like, she knew I was there. I was there all night.
She's 92 years old. Hello and welcome to Is This Good? The show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. With me is on-air powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, JD. Thanks for coming and producing the show. She really mothered this past weekend, Rachel Doyle. You familiar with the term mothering?
I'm kind of done with that.
No, not the term of mothering like I mothered my own children. I'm talking about mothering like when I put on that dress and walked down the catwalk, I was mothering.
Wow, this is new to me. I've not heard this.
No.
Well, I guess you don't hang out in the queer community like I do.
I kind of do, actually, and I still haven't heard this.
Actually, you hang out in the queer community much more than I do. They would say, like, oh, Lady Gaga is so mother. Beyonce at the Cowboy Carter concert was mothering.
Wow.
So what I did was it was Mother's Day, so I combined that with mothering in a bid to just have a jumping off point. I see now that it was a mistake and should have just said Happy Mother's Day. So Happy Mother's Day, Rachel.
Thank you. You forgot how uncool we were.
Yeah, no kidding.
I haven't seen you in a while, so yeah, I forgot in the interim.
It feels like a very long time, actually.
Mother to your two children, and I would also say mother to the peahounds.
Oh, that's very nice.
They're your little cubs.
That's
Little babies.
That's
Sweet
a lot
things.
of responsibility.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be that crass to all my children.
You're not crass, though. You get on the Discord and you're like so
You're
so
encouraging.
sweet and encouraging and nice, and I'm like, who is typing this?
Okay, sweet, encouraging, nice. What word describes that, Rachel? Maternal.
Maternal.
Yes.
Oh my God, my vocabulary is getting so big today.
Hey, you guys notice anything?
Hey, look at this guy wearing a wedding
so
ring.
adorbs.
And you got your Sybil Shepherd focus going on. Your
Yeah,
blur.
my soft light.
So your
Never
soft
good.
light.
No, you saw it. Don't worry, it glinted.
It
did.
glinted.
The wedding ring that I didn't want or didn't want to wear is now on. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
I showed it to you on Zoom only for this reason, is that I've been back at work in a lot of Zoom meetings and Google Meet meetings. And all I do is, I'm staring at everyone in the boxes because everyone's still new to me, at this job. And my box is there.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing a lot of sitting and listening because I'm still new. So I'm just like sitting there like this, and I look in my box and I'm like, all I can see is this ring, and I'm like, do you think they're going like, Jesus Christ, we get it, you got married, stop flaunting it? Like I do feel like a woman that just got engaged. That's like,
Yeah.
oh, do you like my nails? Like holding it like that kind of thing.
You don't have
I don't
any
want this,
diamonds
but-
on it, though. I mean,
No.
so
Yeah,
it's
still
not that
cool.
flashy.
It's a flex. It is absolutely a flex that you got married.
Yeah, but I don't think it is because I think everyone is married. I mean, not everyone, but many people are married, and many of those people are wearing wedding rings.
Right. Yeah.
It just must be in my head that I'm like so not used to seeing me in any jewelry
Yeah.
that I think that I'm showing it off, but I'm really trying not to. So now I'm like in my work calls, I'll sit like this with my wedding ring hand in front of the other one, and then I'll put the other one on top.
What a waste all these years, because you're discovering that this is how you naturally sit. Perfect for hand modeling, George Costanza style.
Perfect for hand modeling, JD. We got what they call a sneak peek back from the wedding. The wedding photographer's like, within the first week, I send you 20 pictures.
Okay.
And then it takes me at least a month to really go through all the other ones. And I think they're ultimately going to send us 500 pictures or something. But they gave us 20. And the first one in, the hero image on the website was, my hand in Jill's hand kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And boy, am I not a hand model. My fucking crazy ass thumb is sticking up. It's all I could see. It's so wide that it's covering her ring.
Wow. Wow.
But otherwise, pictures are lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the photographer's fault.
No,
I'll
I
tell you
mean,
that. She was working with what she had to work with.
She had some grotesque hands she had to deal with. Not Jill's. Not Jill's.
But don't you look through the pictures, even if she didn't notice in the moment, and go, well, I can't put this picture on here.
I don't think that anyone is really looking at your hands as though they were actually grotesque. That's just you.
You know what?
Although you use the word grotesque.
I use the word, yeah.
You're right, Rachel. Thank you. It's a classic. Don't think about what other people think about you, because they're not thinking about you. They're just thinking about themselves.
Right.
If that's the case, why is every single person that I've ever met at some point been talking to me and then been like, oh, sorry, hold on a second. Let me see that thumb. I hold it like, whoa, that's so weird. The nail is wider than it is long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a chode.
Kinda. Yeah, I do have chode
thumbs.
And it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't think it's fine, but if I could change a few things about myself aside from height, let's say they said height we can't do.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. See, I'm going to say this, and now people are going to use these insecurities against me. Thumbs and lobes.
Lobes.
Your earlobes?
Let me see.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your lobes?
They're long. Like, a lot of people don't have lobes. Like, the bottom swoop is almost flush with the cartilage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of Rachel, but
I have the tiniest ears.
Oh, beautiful.
dream
So
ears
little.
for Matt.
Could you even get earrings in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't.
And JD must be self-conscious about his lobes because he's got over-the-ear headphones.
Well, I lost my in-ear monitors.
Oh, no. How do you lose those?
I put them in the pocket of the plane. I brought them along.
Oh,
Because my
You brought work? You
gosh.
brought company materials with you?
Yeah.
What a maniac.
Well, I got these Apple Pro Maxes, right? But they don't have a connection. Like they don't. Most headphones have a connection to go into the movies, the entertainment system,
The movies.
the movie thing.
I bring 2 sets of headphones. I
Yeah.
bring my Bluetooths, like wireless, and I bring these that I'm wearing right now.
Exactly. So I didn't have any other wired headphones, and I didn't want to use the shitty ones that they give out.
You'd rather just lose them. That's
Well,
fine.
I didn't mean to lose them, obviously. And I didn't even use them. And here's my other stupid move. I will take those headphones and I will put them in, and then I'll put my noise canceling over them. So I'm literally wearing 2 pairs of headphones. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's that's a real dork fest.
It's
I guess
totally
no one would
it is
know.
I don't know what
I talk about a hat on a hat.
exactly. Yeah. But I must have the sound be pristine, Matthew. You know that.
Yeah, right. When I'm watching this 2014 Nicolas Cage film that has 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, it must come through crystal clear.
That's exactly right.
Speaking of pristine sound, but first, the wedding was amazing. It was beautiful. It was perfection. Like, I don't think you could have done anything better. And that's not just the wedding, the entire party. But speaking of sound, the DJ was fabulous.
Okay, wow. You just spilled it all out. We were
Jumping
dancing
right to the
around it.
DJ.
We were like...
You were talking about sound.
Okay.
I'm
well,
opening it up for you
We were
guys.
bobbing and weaving. Yes, I got married May the 4th.
Yeah.
You guys were there, and it was great and fun. I knew we were going to talk about it, but I've been getting certain DMs that are like, we want you to go deep on this.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
You've been talking about getting married for 10 years on Basketball Jones and the Starters.
Before you found your partner. It's been
years. Years before. I didn't think it was going to be her that I married. I thought it was going to be someone I met well before.
Yeah. You're the only male friend I think I have that has fantasized about getting married. Do you know what I mean? Or talked
I
about
do,
it.
but I have to. Okay, let me defend myself.
It's not an attack. You don't need to defend yourself.
Well, it is an attack because I feel like you're saying it in that way that's to gender it. Women are like, I've been dreaming of my perfect wedding since I was 8 years old. I want to look like a princess, and the flowers are going to look like this, and the little twinkly lights are going to look like that. You know, that kind of thing.
Sure.
But I haven't thought for 1 second what I want my wedding to be like until it came time to plan it.
Yeah.
What I was doing was using humor to diffuse people being like, why aren't you with anyone? Why aren't you getting married? So I would bring it up, on the offense.
Right.
So
I
people
see.
couldn't use it to wound me.
Gotcha.
Much like at my new job in Slack, I had to upload an avatar, and everyone at work has these like perfectly done headshots on, circular background kind of things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm looking through my phone and it's just like selfies I've taken. I'm like, I'm not putting up a selfie.
Yeah.
So, because every single place I've ever gone tells me, A, you fucked up thumbs, you have big lobes, but what do they also say? You look like Seth Green.
Right.
So I found like not a glam picture of Seth Green, just like a average picture of Seth Green on the internet.
Yeah.
And I uploaded that as my avatar.
Okay.
No.
Love it.
Go on the offense. Say, yes, I know you think I look like Seth Green.
No, you should like get AI to marry. Can you like marry two celebrity faces together?
Of course you can. Of course.
Okay, so you should do that. Seth Green, you're way better looking than Seth Green. That's not.
I know,
gonna
Rachel.
work.
That's why I did it. So before they could say it. But by the way, the awkward thing, no one has said anything. No one has said anything. And so now I don't know if because the avatar is so small that they just think that's a picture of me, or B, even worse, and I do apologize to Seth Green, think that I'm the world's biggest Seth Green fan. They're like, Robot Chicken, this guy couldn't get enough. Scott Evil from Austin
Evil,
Powers, this guy loves it.
Yeah.
Can't hardly wait. He had the big glasses,
Well, you are so much deeper than I would have been with my Seth Green references.
Yeah.
So who would the other celebrity be?
God, I'm so bad. You know who?
6 Feet Under guy.
What?
Michael C. Hall.
Michael C.
Oh, him. And then the handsome dude that's in everything, blonde, and he was the Star Trek. He was
Oh, Chris Pine.
Yes,
wow.
Chris Pine.
Oh, you think I look like Chris Pine?
There's a little bit of
do.
Pine in there.
I do.
The best Hollywood Chris.
100%.
As everyone knows.
Yep.
Yeah, marry those
Pratt?
two would be perfect.
Get out of here.
And the other thing I was going to say is those avatars on Slack look like just blobs to me anyways. Like I sometimes it will be a perfectly shot, photoshopped, like beautiful headshot, and I'll think, is this some kind of symbol? Like I can't tell what this is. You know what I mean?
What am I
So
working with, Prince?
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, we were kind of wondering. I mean, I said this on the No Dogs podcast. I thought it was basically the perfect wedding.
Yeah.
I have almost no notes.
Okay. I feel so bad for people that don't have podcasts because they experience getting married, but they don't experience people giving them notes live on air, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So please go ahead.
Well, I only have one note. It's for Eric the Tutor. Eric the Tutor was your...
Eric the Tutor will probably be listening to this.
Okay, great. He will understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He was in the middle of a mix. I believe it was the amuse-bouche. Amuse-bouche. How do you say that? Amuse-bouche.
Cocktail?
The in-between dancing, in-between courses dancing, which
okay,
we've never,
sure.
which was fun and cool and unique to me. But I've never had that before.
Let me just stop you there.
Okay.
We're going to advance further than 1 minute into every story here, but I heard Trey say this on No Dunks.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every wedding I've been to has been like that.
Really?
So you're saying it's you're saying it's the norm to just sit down, get the first course, get the salad, get the second course, do the sweet table, and then shut it all down and then go dance.
Yeah.
Whereas at my wedding, and what I know to be normal just from growing up is you sit down, you have the first course, then they play like half hour of dancey music, and especially because this is earlier in the night, so your family or the older people will still be there and still have energy.
Yeah.
So this is when you're getting like a disco song, an ABBA song, things like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you sit back down, you have the main course, and then you get back up. And it's mixing in like a speech here and a speech there, so you're not being slammed with all the speeches in a row. But you're saying this is not normal.
Not to me, but I don't know. I don't go to that many weddings. The last one I went to was in Mexico, so it was a little non-traditional anyways. And then the one before that, I remember just dinner, speeches. Now it's time to dance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So anyway, this is such a minor note, but he was in a mix. He was mixing. I think it might have been during. When did he play "Holiday" by Madonna?
Yeah, early on.
All I wrote in my notes was "Holiday" by Madonna. Too fast, Eric. What are you doing? I know what he was doing. He was mixing it with, matching it to the next song that was coming, or the song that he just came off of. But it was too fast for my delicate sensibilities and my ear. I was just like, this is faster. The BPM is not correct here, and that's it.
Wow, was it to the point where the vocals were, sounding different?
No, not at all. It was just digitally sped up. And you know what, Eric, if you're listening to this, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, Eric didn't know that there was a guy at the wedding that wears 2 sets of headphones. So
Yeah,
exactly.
I bet if he did, he'd be like, "Oh shit."
Okay, and then I'll give you my other note right now, just to get it out of the way. At the end of your speech, or at some point when you were sort of like kicking off the party, like the speeches are done, we're kicking off the party, you said, "We're going Montreal late." This isn't fucking Toronto late. This isn't whatever. What did you say? Atlanta late? Atlanta late. This is Montreal late. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. 4 a.m. Let's do this. Place shut down at 2 a.m. and like normal time. Like it was a normal time.
What are you talking about?
Well, what time did we shut
What are you
down?
talking about? First of all, what time do you think bars are open till in Montreal? 4 a.m.? They're open till 3. Usually last call is like 2:30, 2:45.
Okay. That
What
bar
I
was
meant
closed
was
by 2.
like the bar will be open till 2:30.
Okay.
And I think we ended up calling it at 2:15.
Yeah. Which was the right move, to be honest.
We did quote unquote after party after, and I remember getting back to the hotel at like just past 3. So maybe it was even a little later than that.
Oh, I think so. I mean, we didn't get back to our room till 6.
Yeah. I'm not complaining about this, by the way.
I just meant if it was a wedding in Toronto, the last call would have been at 1.
You're right.
Oh, that's true.
So
That's true.
we were in the world of weddings. I didn't know that. I was in the world of film festivals. I was in the world of tips.
I have some notes now. So the next day, like, well, whatever. The next day after the wedding, first of all, I woke up in my suit. I mean, okay, I don't want to over-exaggerate. The jacket was off, but I was in my button-down shirt, cufflinks on, dress pants. Because after we got back to the hotel, it was like 3. We went to our friend's room, and then we were there until 6. And yeah, I guess that's what happened. So I just passed out in my bed in full wedding regalia. Anyways, next day I went to my parents and, got to hear what it was like from their perspective. And they're meeting a lot of my friends for the first time. And some they hadn't seen in so long they didn't recognize. And one of the things my dad definitely said was, "Wow, that JD. He didn't leave the bar the whole night."
That's right, Lenny.
He was supervising.
So true. There were a lot of different places in this venue you could have been. There was an indoor bar. There was an outdoor bar. There was a patio, whatever. Every time I walked to the bathroom and past the bar, you were standing in the exact same place.
Yeah.
And it was just different people that were coming up to talk to you.
That's right. Why would I move?
Come to me, folks.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you wanted to dance.
I did dance. I danced during the first dance. I promised I would dance, and I danced with my wife.
That's true.
During the
That's
first
beautiful.
dance.
How was it being celebrities at this wedding?
A little weird, to be honest. It's definitely the most famous I've felt outside of like NBA type stuff, where strangers come up to me and go, "I love the pod. I know everything about you guys." And it's like, oh yeah, wow, cool. Like it did not in a weird way, but just like you warned us, and they know. Like it's weird to have people out there who know so much about you. And
for sure. I've experienced that before too. I felt it both ways. I felt it when people come up to me and are just like say something, and I'm like, "How did you know that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I said it publicly, so it's not that weird that you know that."
Yeah.
But I've also felt it for other people that I've met.
Yeah.
And I know through podcasting, and I'm like, "Oh," but I'm like, I stop myself because I don't want them to know that I know. that way I'll even the playing field.
Yeah. You know what though? Like it makes it really like nice because you cut out a lot of shit. Like the thing I hate the most about being at an event like that is talking about what I do. And everybody there knew what I did, and so we didn't talk about what I do. And I have to explain, well, it's called a podcast and blah, blah, blah. Not that it's like that anymore, but It was nice. It was good.
So did anyone come up to you and say, how could you be here if Clippers Game 7's happening right now?
No, they also already know that I'm not that into basketball.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll do some complaints.
Okay.
I have very few. I mean, Jill and I woke up the next day and we were like, I don't know, really wouldn't change anything. I didn't love one of the bartenders. That was it.
Oh.
I had no problem with I thought the staff was amazing.
Here's my big complaint. I don't like people looking at me.
Okay.
And this was not a good weekend for that.
Right.
And I knew it was going to be weird and challenging for me. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say you go to a party. Let's say there's 100 people there. You're not going to know all 100 people.
Right.
And even if you know a bunch of them, they're busy talking to each other. And if you walk by, no one's going to turn around and be like, oh, there goes JD. They're just not paying attention to you, right?
Right. Exactly.
When we walked into like the welcome out of towners, whatever cocktails on Saturday,
Yeah.
I was there before anyone, or I just got there before people. And then like I saw like two people from my family walked in and I went up, said hello. And then two people, like two friends walked in. They obviously didn't know my family and they walked in and they were waiting to talk to me. And then two people walked in behind them and they were waiting to talk. And then the whole night, anywhere I would go, people would be like, hey man, how you feeling? You feel it? And I just had the same conversation like over and over.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I can't hide in this room.
Yeah. No.
And I didn't like that. And it honestly made me very sympathetic towards famous people. Because for a night, I think I did experience what would it be like to be, Timothy Chalamet. Now, I'm not comparing myself to the great Timothy Chalamet, of course. Right. But I'm just saying, someone like if he walked into a restaurant, everyone would be like, oh my God, that's Timothy Chalamet.
Right.
And you notice when people are looking at you.
Yeah.
And it's very uncomfortable. I really did not like it.
And imagine that plus, and nobody was like this at the party. Correct me. Well, I know for a fact that they weren't this, but generally, if you see a famous person, you want something from them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Whether it's a selfie or just to shake your hand. I just wanted to meet you, Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, or whatever. Remember that night that we hung out with? Here's a drop for you. Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley. We spent a whole evening
in New York,
with them, in New York. It was just for a while. It was just me, Matt, Chuck, and Ernie. Do you remember that?
Yeah. We both
crazy.
got to this venue. I don't know where. It wasn't even early. It was we were coming from somewhere else, and maybe we just both happened to get the first two cabs or something.
I think so. We were coming from the NBA awards.
Yeah,
in New York.
It was just us in a little room together.
And the hangers-on for Charles, like just nonstop, like a guy trying to make a real estate deal with him, like a guy like, and Charles like turning to us and going, these people, man, like they're nonstop and won't leave me alone. Like
at least he is outgoing and an extrovert.
Oh my God, and he was so nice to everybody, like crazy.
Do you consider yourself an introvert, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely be extroverted, but I think at heart I'm an introvert. I mean, I could go weeks without leaving my house and not feel weird about it.
Oh.
But I'm also not afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at a certain point, I'm like, okay, I'd like this to be over now. So honestly, that was a weird experience. And I had a similar experience at the bachelor party where I was like, this is for me, and yet I feel almost outside of it.
Right.
Because it's like, well, with the bachelor party, for instance, like the planning was happening behind my back, not in a malicious way, but it just was.
Yeah.
And it's for me, and it's almost like, I don't know if people feel pressure, but like, I didn't have a substantial conversation with a single person the whole weekend. Yeah. I don't think.
Right.
It was really just like, hello, and then having to go do something else or walk away or say hi to someone else.
Right.
So it kind of, you look around and you see everyone else like, it's like a scene from a Christmas movie where I'm looking in through the window and everyone, because I'm an orphan and everyone's having a wonderful time inside in their beautiful sweaters.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't feel parts. The texts are flying back and forth in group chats being like, hey, we're going out for a drink now. I'm like, oh, I can't go to that. Oh, hey, you want to meet up at this, place for lunch? I'm like, I can't do that. Sorry. Yeah. So I walk down through the hotel. I see people in the lobby bar drinking.
Yeah.
They're like not even coming over to say hi. They're just like waving, like knowing that I'm on my way to somewhere. They're like, bye. I'm like, oh, well, you guys look like you're having fun. I'm going to take photographs.
We didn't even know you guys were staying at the hotel, like until the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good.
Yeah. I guess.
Because otherwise, I don't know. But it was good. I mean, I liked that we were staying there just for Sunday night when we came back, and we were all already together.
Right. Yeah. No, it was awesome. I kind of expected that it was going to be like that. Like we wouldn't actually be hanging out that much this weekend. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of guessed it would be like that, but I didn't know it would be this extreme.
Right.
Like, could you think of a conversation we had the whole weekend?
No.
Right.
No,
really.
we didn't. Well, I mean, maybe at between 4 and 3:30.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That was the one conversation we had at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Yeah, we can't say what we're talking about.
Something deep.
Not everything's for the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'll go through a couple other small complaints. There was a point talking about Eric the Tutor, the DJ, where it was post dinner, post speeches, and I was on the dance floor and I was like, the music doesn't feel loud enough. Like it feels like it needs to be like a couple notches just so it feels like it's enveloping everyone.
Sorry, when was this? Could you say that again?
It was like probably, I don't know, 10 o'clock, just after 10 o'clock.
Just everything was done and it was dancing.
Everything's done, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
go on.
And I, in my head, thought like, okay, like he's keeping the volume a little lower now because some people are still having conversations and my family's still here and whatever. So I went over to him and I said, like, I don't know if you're keeping it low on purpose, but whenever you're ready, kick it up a couple notches. And he was like, I can't. I said, why not? He said, they have a limiter. The venue has a limiter on the speakers. So like he kept pressing the volume up and he's like, this is as loud as it goes.
Oh, damn.
I was like, that's interesting that they never mentioned that in any of the conversations.
Wow.
But anyways, it was fine in the end.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone except for me cared about that.
It was, yeah. It wasn't as loud as I was expecting it to be, that's for sure.
Once everyone is on the dance floor, except for you, of course, it should get louder.
I went to the dance floor.
Okay. I mean, you were definitely on the dance floor at the very end of the night.
Yeah, we were
when
singing.
we moved into the sing-along portion of the evening.
That I'm into.
Wait, what did you sing along with? You weren't in the 2 videos I sent Matt, that's for sure.
That's right. I was in the Eagles portion of the evening.
I attended the Eagles Take It to the Limit portion. That was the last song.
Look, I don't know the words to that Celine Dion song. It doesn't hit me the way it hits you kids. Mm-hmm. So, I would be a stick in the mud there. I would be like pretending to sing along.
Well, look, the thing was, I met with the DJ. We talked about in the show like at least a couple times before. Yeah. And obviously I had a lot of opinions. People won't be surprised to hear that. But as we got closer and closer, I was really just like, just do whatever you want because I don't want to be thinking about it. And you're a professional and I trust you. And even if I'm like, I think this song would kill, you can read the room better than I can. Mm-hmm. So just do what you want. You've done this before. You know what to do. I would say, the one revelation I had very close to the wedding or the day of the wedding is I said, no dinner music. Because I was preparing playlists for him. I was like, here's generally some ideas for a cocktail. Not that you have to play any of these, but just so you understand kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah. And then here's a dinner thing, and then here's a dancing thing. Yeah. And the dinner thing had more like stately, like not this, but think like Etta James at last. Like that kind of cheesy wedding stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I just was like, no, we don't need 70% of people here are quote unquote young and wanting to have fun. So let's push the pace here. Like let's people be eating dinner, but let's confuse them. Like, should I be getting up to dance now? Should I be singing along? Yeah.
It was
and
a
I think
great call.
That kept the energy going through.
It
so
did.
I was happy about that revelation.
There was a lot. There were already scream singing from the second course. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I love that.
I loved it too. It was awesome.
That was fun.
And then, so it gets to the end of the night, and people have been there since 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. It's now probably 1:30, and I could see the energy is fading, and people are starting to leave. Yeah. And I didn't say anything the whole night, and then I had to like look over Eric the Tutor. I was like, okay, just play this song, and then that song would end, and I'd be like, okay, just play this song. And he's so like, I would fucking hate that if I was DJ, but before he's like, just tell me, like, I like it when you tell me what to play because you know these people better than I do. Yeah. I mean, it would infuriate me, but
Come on.
For the last 5 or 6 songs, I was just like looking at my phone and being like, okay, play this. Okay, now play that. And it did work.
Of course, because you know those you know us, you know the audience, as you say, better than Eric, and he admits it, and that's why he's a goddamn pro.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn pro.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was no complaints.
Good.
No complaints about that.
Okay.
It was super fun. And it was exactly what I wanted. Because like, we were like, let's have a small wedding. It ended up being 100 people. So I don't know if people consider that small, but more that I was like, I want my immediate family there. Mm-hmm. But I don't want like, oh, this is a friend of my parents' friend that I don't really remember. This is a distant family member from Vancouver that I don't really know.
Yeah.
And I waited so long to get married that my parents allowed me to do that. And I was really happy for it because I thought the energy was good throughout.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My one regret is that I didn't meet your grandmother.
Oh, yeah,
but,
yeah.
I spied her from my spot at the bar, and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to her. And I turned back to whoever I was talking to, and then she was gone. But she didn't come to the bar once. Like, she knew I was there. I was there all night.
She's 92 years old.
Oh, my God.
I don't think she was certainly not a drinker even in her young days.
Right. Yeah.
But I haven't even seen her take a sip of wine like for a toast in decades.
I should have gone over to her. I regret that.
Speaking of the hotel, did your room have no door to the bathroom?
No, they had a door. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, ours had no door to the bathroom. It had a door, but it just had one just open thing. Like, it had a big bathtub, and it was just open.
Oh.
And there was a thing you could slide across, but it was like, what do you even call those? Like, it's like that Asian style.
Okay,
like,
yeah. Like
it doesn't go to the floor or the ceiling, so
Oh.
there's no soundproofing coming out of there. Obviously, I'm going to be a little nervous this weekend. I don't know. They like really punished me with this bathroom.
Wow, it sounds like you got the fancy room.
Well, we did get the
honeymoon
fancy room
suite?
because
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you book the hotel, like they upgrade you for free
And
to a junior suite, which was not very much bigger than any of your rooms. Don't worry. But it did. But the room we were in, Zach's room, had a glass door into the bathroom.
his was not positioned in a sexy way like ours was. Like,
Yeah.
our glass wall is right in front of the shower. His was right in front of the toilet. Who wants to watch
why?
someone take a shit? That's not masturbatory material. The shower, on the other hand, is like, invite a couple people over and just lie on the bed, enjoy the show. But right in front of the fucking toilet was, ew.
I don't know what they're doing in these hotels.
Yeah.
What could the possible selling point of that be?
Light daylight getting into the bathroom, which is pretty rare in a hotel room, right?
But it's,
That's
Give
what
that
the-
up
the-
in a heartbeat.
I know.
There's a light in there.
Hey, I'm with you. You're saying what possible reason? I'm giving you a possible reason.
okay, I
That's
think
all.
I also just gave you a reason, but
No, I mean nobody. Well, I'm not going to say nobody, but most people aren't going to enjoy watching someone take a dump. That
no, not the no, the
Bold
shower.
statement, but I think I agree with you.
Yeah, thank you. No, I know. Yeah, our room was great for that. It was
Yes.
very sexy time.
I mean, if you were gonna have a threesome, foursome, fivesome, that would be a good place to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, didn't
I
come
don't
up.
think you
Don't
need
worry.
glass in the bathroom to have a go swinging.
No, but you could be on the bed watching the people in the shower get it on.
Okay.
The bed.
Okay, fine.
Hold on. The people in the shower getting it on, or the people in the bed are getting
Both.
it
They can look
on?
for
Oh, I
both
see,
sides.
I see.
Multiple options.
Here's one. We will move on from this, but our room had the sexy time shower, yes, but the sliding door was on the outside of the bathroom, right? So.
Well, yeah.
So you feel a little vulnerable, right? Because whoever's in the room could just slide it open at their leisure, right?
Yeah.
So that part of it was, if you were like a couple who were on a vacation for the first time, like a weekend together, let's go to Montreal, and it was your first time sort of intimate with each other, and it's just like, like, I don't know. It's just sort of.
It was awful. I mean, if that, like, when it's your first trip away and you're like maybe not even comfortable go into the bathroom,
Yeah.
so to speak,
Yeah.
with them there, because either they don't hear the smell and they might walk in after, and you're holding it in, and then you go out for lunch, and then you're like, oh, I'll be back in a second, and then, that kind of
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Sure.
I'm concerned we both would have died.
Yeah.
Because there's no way anyone's going to the bathroom in this bathroom with no door on.
No way. Yeah, and the shitting is actually the worst. You can still see the toilet from our. You see everything.
I know, it's so stupid.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I don't know what they're doing.
But I don't know. I kind of liked it. As a married man, there with my wife, I enjoyed it. And you were just married, so the
My
moment
was
you were
a little
married,
too delicate this weekend
Okay,
for an open door bathroom. That's all I'll say. It was very much like, okay, I'm going to put on a podcast. You listen to a podcast.
turn it up.
Turn it up. Shower on. Faucets on. Bathtub on. And yet, it's hard. Everyone knows those sweet sounds.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, that was mostly the wedding. It was great. And of course came back and was violently ill.
Yeah.
And I'm just starting to feel better now. Worth it though.
It was incredible. I mean, we could go into all the great things about it. You get there and you're getting a kippah, which I did not wear. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to wear it.
No, I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah. I kept it. I have it upstairs. It's got a little inscription in it, so I will treasure that always.
And the little inscription inside says, if you put this on, you are a Jew.
I definitely would have put it on if it said that. I think I mentioned this on No Dunks, but Weinfeld, the professor, he was officiating one of our goats, and he is the goat. The most I've ever laughed at a wedding ceremony ever.
So good.
Like, were you pleased with the
Yes, very pleased.
the jokes? And did anything make you? Were you like, okay, enough, Dave, with this?
No. To explain what JD's talking about is, I suppose if you were going to have a Jewish wedding, it would be a rabbi officiating.
Right.
But we had my friend Dave, who is a pea hound. He officiated it.
That
and
means
I'd seen him do it
Patreon
before.
member. For anyone new, that means Patreon. I had a legit pea hound officiate my wedding. The biggest pea hound I know.
I thought it was weird when he winked at me and said, hey, how about those bridesmaids, huh? And I'd seen him do it before. And I just was like, whatever he does, it's going to immediately be better because he knows me and he knows Jill. Mm-hmm. And he's going to make it more personal just by dint of, even if a rabbi was trying his best to make it personal. You don't know me.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to feel traditional enough that I think, like, both for my family and kind of for me, that it would feel official. Mm-hmm. Because we'd I don't know if I'd said this, but we'd already gotten married in LA because it was actually too difficult to get legally married in Quebec.
Yeah.
And so we're like, fuck it, let's just go to we didn't even go to like City Hall. Like, we got married at the same kind of kiosk window wherein you would get like apply for your license or something like that.
Right. Wow.
In fact,
you're really sucking the romance out of this weekend.
The man next to me was literally filing his divorce papers.
Oh.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
So
at least you know where to go.
yeah, well, it's good.
Bad omen, good omen. Let's say good.
So anyway, so we were already married. So I was like, whatever, that part's not important. But I wanted to be traditional and, because that didn't feel real to me, even though that was the legal thing. I was like, what is this? Feels like nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It took 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted that, but I also wanted to feel light and fun because most people there were not Jewish, and I wanted them to feel like they were kind of generally understanding what was going on. Anyways, he did an amazing job.
He was
crushed
so
it.
good.
Yeah, I did want to single him out, but to be honest, all the speeches, including yours, Matthew, were awesome.
Amazing.
They're great.
Brilliant.
Like, you were worried about your wedding speech and fucking killed it.
Yeah.
The one thing that, because I've given so many like best man speeches or whatever MC speeches at weddings, and I'm always working on them at the wedding. And there's always one event or thing that I don't go to, or I'm like my mind's somewhere else because I'm like, fuck, I need I need to tie it together, you know? And I've always said to myself, if you ever get married, you are not writing your speech the weekend of your wedding. You will have written it before. And what was I doing the fucking morning of my wedding? I was writing my speech. Yeah. I mean, I had started it before, but I had not finished it.
Yeah.
That was the most stressful thing. That was the most stressful thing, was writing my vows and writing my speech.
Yeah. And the vows were lovely too.
So lovely.
And if I had done that before, I wouldn't have been stressed at all, I don't think. So but whatever. I'm an idiot and I can't change. So.
No,
it was perfect. It was perfect.
Maybe it's your process, man.
Maybe the stress helped make it what it was, which was just perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Now, how did Jill feel about the whole affair?
Who cares?
I thought you were gonna say who?
No, Jill loved it.
Good.
She was so happy. And I would say, actually, if she was on, her complaint would be that people treat brides too delicately. So, like, for instance, the day of the wedding, anytime she tried to pick something up or was like, oh, I'll take this makeup in case I want to put some on later, people were like, no, you can't carry that.
Right.
Or like her phone, like, you can't have your phone.
Yeah.
And so many different people were taking all her shit that, by the way, after being awake till 6 a.m. on Sunday, woke up Monday to the phone in the hotel ringing. Didn't I go on a rant about how they should not have phones in hotels?
Yes.
Well, this is a perfect example. The phone's ringing, and it's the front desk person being like, we have 3 different people drop things off for you that they said they took last night. And so Jill's like, well, I don't know where my wallet is. I don't know where my purse is, because people kept stealing things from her.
Right. Yeah.
We ran into her as we were leaving in the elevator. We rode the elevator down with her when she picked this stuff up, and she had a bag with a pair of shoes. She's like, whose shoes are these? Did she get an extra pair of shoes, by the way?
I don't know. I can't believe you guys had to. So you guys were out the door by 9 the next day?
Yeah.
It was.
So you slept for like 90 minutes?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, because we packed everything when we got back there at 6 a.m. It's like,
Oh my God. I feel that's really bad. Sorry about that.
We did it to ourselves, but it was 100% worth it.
absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm glad. And thank you to everyone that reached out on Instagram and email and whatever. I really appreciate all the good wishes. And speaking of mailbag, actually, let's get a mailbag question.
Okay,
going.
let's do it.
Ooh.
All right. Is this good? pod@gmail.com. Sorry, I haven't said that in a while. If you'd like your mail featured on an episode. Hey, Maddie, JD, and Rachel. By the way, JD, asking this question most specifically for you, and I think you're going to see why.
All right.
It was recently my girlfriend Martina's birthday, and we threw a small, intimate dinner party at our home. Martina invited a friend of hers and extended a +1 since he would be the only single person attending. The event was called for 7 o'clock. At 7:45, the +1 arrives without Martina's friend, but instead has a complete unknown person in tow. A complete unknown! I was stressed because I didn't know if we'd have enough food for an extra person, but everything ended up going fine and we had a great night. As people were getting ready to leave, I overheard someone say to the +1 of the +1, wow, that's a crazy profession. Intrigued, I inquired and found out that that person was a police officer.
Whoa.
I had refrained from smoking a joint throughout the evening as I was the only smoker present, but it suddenly dawned on me the potential trouble I could have faced passing a joint to a policeman. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Am I overreacting? Should a police officer identify themselves in a social situation? Should the +1 that invited the cop have let us know that they were a police officer in advance? Much love, Will and Martina in England.
In England.
wow.
Okay.
Now, because they're in England, these are not really police officers, right? Like, they don't have guns. They've got little batons and funny blue hats.
Yeah, big hats.
Bobbies,
Yeah, bobbies, they're called.
unless they're beef eaters.
Yeah, well, those aren't exactly cops, but okay. So there was an extra guest who they didn't know that
That's what they're skipping over here.
Yeah,
that's the problem here.
Me. Yeah,
So essentially, pretend you're single, JD. I'm having like a couple's dinner for my birthday at my house. I want you to come, but I know you're single, so I'm like, you'd probably be more comfortable if you had someone else there. So I say, bring whoever you want.
Okay.
You invite someone, and then that person, I don't know where they got the idea that this is socially acceptable,
Right.
invited someone else, and that person was a cop.
right. Yeah, it's kind of insane. But I guess if you are the original person who's invited, you're kind of in a bit of a bind, right? Because you're like, hey, casual friend, it's not a date. Just come with me to this little party that I'm going to. And then they go, you mind if I bring a friend, you know?
No, but I also think you could have brought me, or like you could have brought,
Right.
you know,
Anybody.
Skeets or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that part of it is weirder than the cop thing is whatever.
He couldn't have brought you, Rachel. I don't know. You're staring right at me. But if I say he could have brought you, then it's going to confuse people into being like, well, he's married.
That's
so
right.
Why wouldn't she be invited?
I was pretending I was single. But anyway.
And it was the greatest 30 seconds of your life.
Oh, it felt great. Definitely wouldn't bring a cop. God damn. No, I'm kidding. Cops are people too. I'll just say that.
So you obviously grew up with a dad who was a detective.
I did.
So I'm wondering, in social situations where he didn't necessarily know the people, would he find a way to like work it in the conversation lest someone light up a joint and he feel weird?
Yeah.
Or maybe he wouldn't feel weird.
Well,
I guess you don't want to say
I
that.
don't think he would feel weird about it. I think that, you know, again, cops are people and they live in society and they, you know, I don't know what the laws are like over in England at the moment. But I can't imagine an off-duty police officer arresting a fellow guest at a dinner party because a fucking joint was passed around. A crime so minor that it happens every day. You know, like it would be ridiculous. Yeah. But I don't know.
Okay, but we also could see a world, not to get dark, but if one of these people stabs someone at this dinner,
okay,
the cop's not going to be like, well, I'm off duty.
No, yeah.
Well, that's a little
There's
different.
that.
No, I know. I'm going to an extreme, but just to say, it's not the off-dutiness of it. It's, yeah. But I imagine some people become cops because, like, the law, like it's very black and white to them. They're like, you are breaking the law, and I can't have that.
Right. Well,
so then they might feel awkward. They have to make a decision. Like, do I tell them to put it out? Do I go, I'm going to turn around?
Yeah.
And pretend I didn't see that.
I mean,
and when I turn back around,
sure,
it better not be there.
Sure.
Will eats the joint.
Yeah.
Lit.
Cops come in all different personalities. It's very telling to me that you didn't find out he was a cop until the very end of the evening, right?
Good point.
Because
so he's a cool guy.
This guy is probably cool, as reluctant, if not more reluctant, to talk about what he does than I am, right? Because it will tarnish the rest of the evening. Because there may have been like people, you know, comfortable enough to light up a joint and enjoy that. Now,
hey, Dave, how's that embezzlement you were doing going?
Break out the needles.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't live my life that way, but I'm not scared of cops because my dad's one and he's a nice guy around. So.
My dad could beat up your dad. I was once in the only thing that's like analogous, and actually it's worse when you think about it. I was at a wedding, this was a long time ago, and one of the friends of the bride, like we were out doing God knows what, and then the next day at like the breakfast was like, oh, what do you do, by the way? I'm an agent at the FBI. I'm like, no, what do you really do? Oh, you are an agent at the FBI,
right? Yeah.
And you know, if she had been a stickler,
yeah, but it's not a sting operation. Like
yeah,
they're
exactly.
off duty. That's preposterous. I mean, really, unless you're that paranoid. I mean, just feels.
You don't want to be at a dinner party where someone's screaming, "That's entrapment!"
Yeah. Look, I think that the cops you have to worry about are the ones who do announce that they are cops when they enter a party. And that's make it their whole fucking personality. At a certain point, the Metro Toronto Police, they said, we're going to allow our officers to carry their guns, like take their guns home with them, because there was a time when they weren't allowed to. You had to lock it up when you left. When you're off duty, you left. And he said he took his gun one time. He took it home. And I've never seen his gun. The only time I've ever seen him with a gun on his person is when he was in uniform, which was kind of rare, to be honest. But he said, I don't want to work that much, because if you have your gun on you at all times, then you are always on duty, right? Mm-hmm. You are always going to be the guy that has to fucking break up the fight, or, you know, which happened enough anyways as a police officer with my dad. Like we would be just out downtown and somebody would be, harassing somebody else, and he would feel the need to step in.
And what would you do? Just flash the badge and they would just step down?
Usually that's enough. That's enough to just be like, here you go. Knock it off, boys, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, we should explain your dad is from the 1920s.
Knock it off, see?
Hey, boys.
But
Take it out to see the big boss.
But at the end of the day, like, he's kind of a pioneer in work-life balance, you know. That's true. The gun was his laptop. That's right. Just shut that gun. Put it.
Or really more apt, the gun was like a desktop computer at work before there were laptops.
That's right.
And then when you could bring the gun home, it was when they were like, you know what, we got laptops now. Bring them home.
Yeah.
Log in from home.
That's right.
Answer this email at 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah. I mean, he was a homicide detective for many years, and when he was doing that, he was a little bit of a slave to the beeper. That was the thing that when he was on call, when a murder came in, he would get the call and we would not see him for days, sometimes weeks. But anyways, all this to say, most cops, I think, just want to chill, enjoy life, and they don't want to have to deal with things like petty personal use of marijuana. But yeah.
But what if they're like, you know, it's a couple's dinner and it's her birthday and she's like, you guys want to experience something crazy and feel some emotions that you've never felt before? And they sprinkle a little Molly in the Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Now what's happening?
I mean,
then you take pictures of him and you blackmail him.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You got the juice now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if any cops are listening, I'm very curious I don't know. Most of the cops I know are now retired, so I don't know what it's like out there now.
The Gen Z cops.
I would like to hear from Gen Z cops. I'd like to know if anyone is listening, and probably not. But you never know.
Oh.
You never know. Well, my dad probably listens, so.
Right in, Dad. And tell us what your what do they call it? Like your case crack ratio was? Percentage?
Oh, he cracked some big ones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have him on to tell tales.
I mean, they did. He was on like one of those Canadian or murder docs, like true crime
oh my God,
series.
Jill would talk this man's ear off. Let's make sure they never meet. Okay, let me hit you with an unpopular opinion before we go.
Okay.
This one unrelated to anything, but I saw it and I was like, yeah, maybe they'll point here. Price is Right rules suck. Okay, this person says, in case you don't know, Price is Right rules means whoever can guess the closest number without going over wins. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if the correct answer is 80 and the first person guesses 81 and the second person guesses 1, the second person wins, even though they're way further off.
Right.
Why?
Because the math is easier?
I do think that's the answer.
Like,
I think there's two reasons that I thought of, and maybe there are more that you can think of. But number one, ties are impossible. Because actually, if you think about it, if it was just closest above or below,
yeah,
and let's just say it's $100 to make it easy, if someone guessed 99,
mm-hmm.
and then the next person guessed 101, how would you determine who won?
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes sure if you say 99 and the next person that wants to guess thinks it's, you can't. Well, I guess you could say 100 there.
Right. Now, Price is Right. You can't. Nobody. You can't match somebody else's answer as well, right? So you're where you are on the
like
panel.
if I say $1 and you want to guess $1, you'd have to say $2.
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then the other thing is if it's 100. Well, let's make it a weirder number. If it's $128 and you say 74 and I say 153. People might be like, wait, who wins? I don't know.
Right.
I'm subtracting. I'm adding.
Yeah, you got a PA on the backstage to go with the calculator. Going, this is calculus over here. Also, I think it's dramatic and fun when somebody wins with a $1 bid, right? If it's a $1,500 item and everybody goes over, mm-hmm. and then you get that one person who does $1. That's awesome. That's good TV, right?
Well, I agree. It's definitely better TV than if it's just above or below. But I guess you just have to say it's a game, and when you play a game, it has rules.
Yep.
And the rules don't necessarily make sense. The rules are there to facilitate the game.
Exactly.
Not to be the most fair rules.
Yeah.
Because it is insane when you do think of if the answer is 100,
Right.
and I guess 101 and you guess 1.
I mean, yeah.
You are 100 units off, and I am 1 unit off, and you would win.
That's right.
It's a little bit infuriating.
I'm not saying it's not infuriating.
Okay.
But I do think it's dramatic and funny.
Well, yeah. I guess it's kind of like losing in Jeopardy because you had the right answer, but you forgot to say what is.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
it's not really the same, but you know what I mean. It's just a rule. That's the rule.
That's
You
the
gotta do
rule,
it.
man. That's
It
the
doesn't mean
rule.
you didn't know that the answer, but you just have to say who is.
Exactly right.
You know what I'm starting to like? I love in Jeopardy because I'm watching the pop culture Jeopardy,
Yeah.
and when people like. They pretend to know the answer, but they only know the last name. But instead of saying, like, they just say it as if, like, yeah, I know his first name, but, like, it's more Jeopardy professional to just go Chalamet
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
instead of who is Timothy Chalamet. But I'm
Right.
like, you didn't know the first name.
Right. So you think that that should be a stickler. You should be, what is his first name? You
Well-
need to know the full name.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If it's a... Because then if they're like, this... Russian World War II leader, whatever, and you were like Stalin. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's fine. Like, no one needs you to go Joseph Stalin.
I want you to know that. I want to know that you know that his first name is Joseph.
But it's more glaring somehow when it's like, I don't know, trying to think of an example. It's got to be someone that's famous, but not like going like Dylan, and everyone's like, okay, but you're talking about Bob
Right.
Dylan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it was like Paxton. I'm like, Bill Paxton?
Right.
You know? Because you
Yeah.
could have been confused with Bill Pullman. Well, actually, their names are both Bill.
Right.
But anyways, it is what it is.
I hear what you're saying. I mean, it would be weird for somebody if it was an NBA question and the answer was LeBron James, and they said James instead of LeBron.
Right.
But would you accept?
But
the
exactly,
first-
but I don't think they would accept just LeBron.
But they wouldn't.
Really?
Well, I thought it's first and last or last, not just
Wow.
first.
Okay.
Because if the answer was Bill Pullman, you couldn't just say Bill.
Right.
Yeah, but
It would go. He'd prompt you. They'd go, "I need more."
Yeah, but people know LeBron by LeBron. LeBron James by LeBron.
Yeah, that's true. I guess like people aren't gonna be like Madonna, Ciccone. No, Madonna Lefkowitz, my accountant. Oh, Madonna! Wow, we really went full circle there. Do you guys have anything you need to say before we go, or you want to say? I'm happy to listen.
Just Mazel Tov. You know.
Oh, thank you.
And go ahead.
I would like to know if normally people go insane about the Schwartz's Deli lineup.
We're gonna open that can of worms.
They go insane. Meaning, what do you mean? Like they go and they're like, "Why is this line so long?"
No.
No,
we,
no.
we were there. How long were we waiting in the line?
Half hour. I timed it.
And 2 people just went fucking nuts because we were in the way when they were trying to use the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like crazy nuts.
Like I think it's a thing. I think it's definitely a
interesting.
thing.
I don't
because it's like it's a sidewalk here.
You should be thankful you got it in English
Yeah, true.
instead of a sti tabarnak tourist.
The guy screamed, "You can buy a plane ticket, but you don't know how to line up." Like,
Oh, shut up!
what are you?
Yeah.
What?
Jesus, God forbid we should have any tourism.
Exactly. It's the institution of the Saint Laurent neighborhood. Is that what it is? Saint Laurent.
It's on Saint Laurent, but
Okay.
it's not called the Saint Laurent neighborhood. But that's
All
okay.
right. Well,
Then there was the other crusty old bitch who was walking her dog, and she just stopped and stared at us.
Yeah.
Were you out of the line? Like, you know what I mean? Were you flush with the
no.
rest
Okay.
of the
So
line?
so here's the thing. Here's the problem with
Okay,
Schwartz.
Rachel.
Use your
did
fucking
something.
words, bitch.
She was talking. She was like, "It's a sidewalk.
Like,
I'm walking."
How about
And
excuse me?
that's what I said to her. I'm like, just go. Like, you have a dog. They'll move. But here's the thing, Matt. Schwartz's Deli. I highly recommend you do it. If you're ever in Montreal, it is an experience. The smoked meat is out of this world. It's amazing, but it is absolutely an experience. You know, we were sat at a 6-top, like crammed
Other people
in,
there, right?
Other people there, and we were happy about it. You know, and the whole staff are they're characters, and there's a lineup. There's a lineup to get in. It's very popular. But here's the thing: there are 2 entrances to Schwartz's. There's the dining room entrance, and then there's a takeout entrance. And then right in the middle of that entrance is some sort of metal door, and behind that door is garbage. A lot of rotting meat or something is back there. So the line naturally gravitates away from it to the middle of the sidewalk. And then we're talking about a pretty wide sidewalk, but still, people were repelled by the smell and they were blocking the way.
Yeah, it's just like when a mentally ill person on a subway starts swinging their arms in the middle of it. Everyone moves to the extremities.
Exactly right. And I feel like the locals, they got a bee in their bonnet about the Schwartz lineup. And I just want to say to them, just relax. You got an institution, a neighborhood institution. It's been there for 93 years. You should be happy that people are drawn to this. But this is Montreal. This is a cool thing about Montreal. I was talking to somebody about this. Like, it's such a cool city, and they don't care to share it with anybody. That's what kind of makes it so cool.
You know what I say to them? Go to Europe.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? We were in like Florence, for instance, late September, which used to be definitely not high season.
Yeah.
People are back at school, whatever. You could not walk in some places. And I've read like just there's a real anti-tourist movement there because some people are like, we literally can't go to certain areas from like May till October anymore. Like, the city is closed to us. Now that is understandable.
Yeah.
If your city is being overrun and then suddenly every single apartment is an Airbnb and now you can't rent an apartment and you're being priced out, I totally understand.
Totally get
that.
it. Absolutely.
But Montreal, like, I mean, you were there. Was it fucking overrun with tourists?
Not at all.
Other than Schwartz, absolutely not.
And it wasn't even, there was still room on the sidewalk. She wanted to walk down the middle of the sidewalk.
That's right.
She did not want to have to walk close to the road. Like, there's room for her to get past. She just wants to be a cranky old bitch.
Okay.
Well, and the bad thing is, you know, people already have it in their head, I think, that Montreal is going to be, the people are going to be a bit rude.
Yeah.
Do you have that sense?
I mean, I don't because I've been there many times.
Yeah, I don't think it's true, but I do think
Yeah.
people have that, and I
Sure.
don't like that these people are reinforcing that stuff.
Yeah, that is a shame, but you know that's like that in any city. We had an awesome time. Montreal rocks. We loved it. So I think everybody had a great time who was there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, everyone, and we got a beautiful weekend. That like the weather cooperated, but I would recommend to anyone listening, go to Montreal because it was May. It was not like hot by any means, but it was nice, and people are on the streets walking everywhere. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
God.
even in LA, which has, you know, like, I don't know, 8 times the people,
yeah,
just walking out of the hotel and just seeing people fucking moving on their feet. I was like,
yeah.
wow,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
amazing.
yeah. Just walking down St. How do you say it? Is it St.
That
Catherine's?
was St. Catherine, yeah.
Yeah,
No, just St. Catherine.
St. Catherine. It was awesome. I think it was also like one of the first nice weekend for Montreal, right? I mean, because I don't think the weather's been great. So everybody was out and it was awesome. You couldn't have had a more perfect weekend for the perfect wedding. It was amazing.
Thank you. So takeaways, wedding was great. Thank you for your good wishes. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for your very generous gift.
One last thing.
Yes.
I got into a little bit of an argument about, with Rachel at first and then with the guys afterwards because some people brought cards.
Wasn't it?
And I was, no, for us, Skeets, for example, he is a big card guy. He insists on having a card. He's going to put the gift in a card. He's going to give it to whomever. I was like, no. They don't want cards. They don't want to be carrying around shit.
I was
it's
just,
their
are
wedding.
you sure? Like, we're not being doing some sort of faux pas by not giving a card?
I was following I was sticking to the strict adhesion to the what was presented to us, which was invitation was digital, all the information was digital, the link was digital, you had the ability to leave a message digital. They want digital, so that's what we did. But people
I can't remember even you gave your gift online.
Yeah.
So then why would you bring a card?
We didn't. That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense. That's perfectly fine.
So like,
it'd be weird if you brought a check without a card, though,
right?
And just like put it in my laptop.
Yes,
pocket.
of course.
I just didn't know whether we should bring a card as well as.
No,
Yeah.
that would be crazy.
Right.
No one needs that.
Okay.
So I was like, we're just gonna do this digitally.
Well, you were right.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Anyways, yes, what were my takeaways? It was a great weekend. Thank you for all your congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
And go to Montreal. Great city.
Yeah, great city.
Great city.
Beautiful.
Everyone really had a good time. Patreon.com/isthisgood. If you want to hear an exclusive episode every month, if you want to hear the greater good every week, if you want to join the Discord and the thriving community where you can, if you know you're not comfortable asking a question to your own mom, you can ask Rachel and she'll answer the question for you.
I'll answer any question. Scary.
She will answer any question. And send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming. For JD and Rachel, I'm Matt Austin, and this was good. We'll see you next week.
Bye.